The opening scene of Sophia Loren's Hollywood debut. She was already famous in Italy, but the first time the world got to see Sophia was in this otherwise forgettable movie called Boy on a Dolphin, in which she at least was unforgettable, if only for one scene.
Wasn't that what caused the Hollywood producers to be amazed?
But I don't know, I was so young, I didn't know that this was going to make a great impression on the public. This picture and this me being wet, because, no, not at all. No.
It was an extraordinary shot, wasn't it? I mean, looking back at it.
It was nice, yes, it was nice, very nice.
For 2 years now, you tell me soon I pay for a boat, I buy house. But I still work in windmills, and you still die for Mr. Arokopoulos.
Why? The film established one other Loren attribute, her ability to play the shrew.
I'll be here another 4 months, understand? But you don't give a damn, you're out, you're free.
A role she plays so well in so many movies
Buon appetito.
that you could start to believe that this is more than mere acting.
Should we ask her for some garlic bread?
Some of the scenes where you berate men are so good that there has to be some truth there beyond acting.
Yes, because I'm Italian and because this is the way that my nature is, but I don't know if this is 100% Italian or it's 100% as a woman would react into a certain kind of situation.
So, are men wary of this at times? Are men wary of this at times?
Well, it depends what man you're talking about. If you're talking about...
Well, me, I suspect. I've seen it in the movies, but now it's happening to me. It's not so amusing. So let's get on to safer ground. Her childhood, for instance. She'll like to talk about that. Many of her classic movies, Sophia is cast in a world she knew only too well, the Italian slums in which she grew up as the daughter of an unmarried mother.
Does it surprise you that you have become who you are and got to where you are?
Why should it surprise me?
Well, because the odds seem so great. I mean, being illegitimate and growing up in the slums. I mean, those were two huge impediments to stardom and fame, weren't they?
I was never illegitimate myself. It's my sister who was.
Whoops, I've walked into another one. But I'd just seen Sophia's own TV miniseries, a sort of superior home movie about her life based on her autobiography.
Sophia Cicolone.
That's another name. She doesn't have a name. She doesn't have a father either.
Here she is, playing her own mother.
What's the matter? They're making fun of me again.
Don't take care of them.
Oh well, let's try it another way.
But your father wasn't a presence in your early life, was he?
No, he has never been a presence in our lives.
In your biography,
Yes.
you suggest that in later life, looking back, you can see that you were always really looking for a father in your life or something to fill that vacuum.
Yes, but I was always looking for a real father, not for something that I thought it was a father and it was not.
Enter Carlo Ponti, Italian film producer, aged 38 when she was only 18. Married man, old enough to be her father. He became her lover. She prefers now not to talk about those times.
Are you, in fact, quite private and in a sense modest?
I try to be as much as I can, but from my nature, I am a very private person. Yes, I am.
But of course, the world is always fascinated by the private lives of stars. That must be one of the costs, I suppose.
No, I don't have to answer you.
No?
No.
What's new in Rome, Signora?
They're dropping bigger bombs every day.
Well, wait
In
and see
Carlo
what
Ponti's
weekend they
production
will
of Two
We have
Women in
decided to get it over
1961,
with.
she
Like
played
it?
a fiercely protective mother, for which she won the Academy Award for Best Actress.
Would you like to come?
Keep that for your sister. Keep your hands to yourself, you miserable pig!
How did you react the moment you learned that you'd won the Oscar?
As a matter of fact, I never went to Hollywood. I waited for the results in Rome, and when they called me, Cary Grant called me saying, "You won," and I said, "I won what?" "You won the Oscar as a Best Actress for the film." I mean, I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it.
This personal stuff is dangerous with Sophia, but she did mention Cary Grant, so it must be okay to ask.
You met Cary Grant and you fell in love with him? Or he with you?
Yes, he with me, yes.
Most women were in love with Cary Grant anyway, weren't they?
Oh, really? Yes.
I think at that stage.
Maybe I think so.
He fell for you more than you for him?
I don't know. Well, why do you talk about Cary Grant?
Oh, because it's interesting.
Yes, but I think these kind of things have to be kept in a kind of, it's part, these kind of things are part of my life, and I don't like to share it with anybody else.
You wrote about it?
I wrote about it because I didn't want to talk about it later on in interviews, yes.
So write about it once and get it out.
You read my book and then you know.
Sophia Loren has always got away with a lot. Way back in 1963, she created one of cinema's most sizzling scenes with her favourite co-star, Marcello Mastroianni.
Is it hard to do a scene like that as an actress?
Not at all. No. If you have confidence in yourself, if you have a confidence in your partner, there was a kind of complicity, you know, between Marcello and I that I couldn't have had with anybody else. So that's why I was able to do it. Yes.
It was still a daring act in 1994 when they decided to revisit the scene in the Hollywood movie Pret-a-Porter. Perhaps even more daring since Sophia was now over 60.
In the beginning I said no, because I didn't think it was the right thing to do. And then Marcello said to me, "You are so funny. You are so beautiful. I mean, why do you have to discuss things that can be wonderful for you and for me in the film?" And I said, "You really think so?" And he said, "Trust me. I trust you." With my Neapolitan, thing.
Yes, right.
And so I said, let's try to do it. So we started on the set to do the scene with the same record and with the same music, and then all these 20 years went by, were erased completely, and we were back again doing the same thing like we did 20 years ago, and it was wonderful.
It felt like that.
Wonderful, 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 wonderful.
Sophia Loren is now 62, still making movies and still looking terrific. And in her latest movie, still cashing in on that great Italian body language.
Maybe some ice water could cool me down.
Yes, ma'am. Why did you decide to do the movie?
Well, because I was looking for a comedy. I've been looking for a comedy for a long time. And I wanted to be an American comedy for a long time.
If my dog was as ugly as you, I'd shave his ass and teach him to walk backwards.
It's 45 years since she made her first screen appearance. Her latest movie role, co-starring Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau, must make this at least her 80th film.
Holy moly.
But with Sophia Loren, movies are like the years. Who's counting?
And when this story came about, they asked me to do it. And I knew who was going to be in the film, Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau. I said yes right away without reading the script, because it was the dream of my life to be able to work with them.
Have a little more fun, whatever you want to do with it, and action.
Stars don't come any bigger than Sophia Loren. She's always made her own rules and broken them too whenever she saw fit. These days, her beauty is still universal, and she remains an advocate of growing old without plastic surgery. Though, being Sophia, she might change her mind about that in another 20 years or another 5 minutes.
Why did you, so early in the piece, warn against plastic surgery?
I think that wrinkles have a lot to do with your character, with your features and the way you are. And I think that through the wrinkles you have in your face, if you have some, it tells if you have been happy in your life or sad in your life. And I'm very jealous of anybody touching my face in that way.
So you can read the wrinkles? I'm trying to turn mine up.
You have a very happy face. You must have had a very happy life.
I'm sitting opposite Sophia Loren.
Not now. Not this hour. Oh.
Hello, I'm Charles Wooley. Thanks for watching. To keep up with the latest from 60 Minutes Australia, make sure you subscribe to our channel. You can also download the 9Now app for full episodes and other exclusive 60 Minutes content.